No one in Hollywood was prepared for the photo that surfaced just after sunrise. A grainy image taken from across a quiet street in Berlin, showing two figures stepping out of a discreet airport exit. At first, people dismissed it as coincidence. But when higher resolution images followed, fans nearly dropped their phones. There was no mistaking the silhouettes, the posture, the familiar way they walked. It was Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson, traveling together, secretly, in Germany. The moment the new photos hit social media, chaos erupted. Fan pages exploded, entertainment channels switched into emergency mode, and hashtags trended globally within minutes. People questioned everything. How long had they been there? Why Germany? Why together? Most importantly, why were they hiding? The internet demanded answers before breakfast. Sources claimed the pair had landed late the previous night, using a restricted access corridor normally reserved for diplomats and high-profile executives. Their arrival had been carefully orchestrated. No entourage, no visible security, no flashy cars. Just a single black van waiting for them outside the private exit, unmarked, tinted, and suspiciously quiet. It was the kind of setup celebrities used only when they didn't want to be seen. Eyewitnesses offered fragmented details that made the story even juicier. One airport attendant said Jamie and Dakota walked close together, speaking in low voices as if trying not to draw attention. Another insisted they recognized Dakota's soft laugh echoing through the hallway. Someone else swore Jamie touched her back gently as they exited the terminal. None of these claims were confirmed, but the internet didn't care. The whispers were enough to fuel a wildfire. The biggest question was simple: why Germany? Jamie had recently been rumored to be exploring a new European film project, though nothing official had been announced. Meanwhile, Dakota had mentioned in an interview that she might be traveling to Europe soon for personal matters. Now, those comments seemed suspiciously aligned. Fans scrambled to piece together the timeline, convinced the trip was planned, not accidental. Then came the first shocking video clip. A German traveler had recorded a short, shaky video while waiting for his taxi. In the background, Jamie and Dakota were seen leaving the airport through an obscured doorway. The lighting was dim, but their silhouettes were unmistakable. Dakota pulled her hood tighter. Jamie kept his head down, and both moved quickly toward the waiting vehicle. The clip lasted only 6 seconds, but it was enough to make Hollywood explode. Comments flooded the internet instantly. Why are they sneaking around? Why Germany? What are they hiding? They look too close for this to be just work. Theories multiplied like wildfire. Some claimed they were there for a secret film meeting. Others insisted it was personal, very personal. A third group, the most dramatic, believed they were escaping media attention in the US to spend time together privately. It didn't help that neither of them had posted on social media for 2 days, fueling suspicion that the trip had been meticulously planned. Meanwhile, Dakota's reaction when she realized paparazzi had spotted them became the center of the storm. In one zoomed-in image, her expression was unmistakably tense, eyes widening, lips pressed together, shoulders tight beneath her coat. She instinctively turned her face away, pulling her collar up to shield herself. Fans analyzed the micro-expression endlessly, claiming it wasn't irritation, it was panic. Panic at being seen with Jamie in a foreign country. Jamie, for his part, kept his face hidden under a cap, but one image showed him glancing sideways, jaw clenched, as if he knew the situation was about to spiral out of control. Paparazzi later said he seemed protective, stepping slightly ahead of Dakota, as though shielding her from cameras. That small gesture sent social media into meltdown. As more sources added details, the story only grew more explosive. A Berlin hotel worker claimed the pair had checked into the same luxury building. A cafe employee said they saw 2 Hollywood-looking people sharing a quiet breakfast in a corner booth. Another person insisted they saw Jamie smiling at Dakota in a way that didn't look like co-workers. Every new detail, real or imagined, poured gasoline onto the fire. By the end of the day, the internet was filled with one burning question. What exactly were Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson doing in Germany together? And why were they trying so hard to keep it secret? The answer would come later, and it would change everything. As the sun rose over Berlin the next morning, the pieces of Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson's mysterious trip began falling into place, but not in the way anyone expected. New photos leaked online, revealing the pair walking through the lobby of an upscale boutique hotel known for hosting diplomats, directors, and A-list celebrities who need complete discretion. Jamie wore a charcoal coat, Dakota, an oversized cream sweater. They weren't holding hands, but the closeness between them was unmistakable, comfortably aligned, moving as if they had done this many times before. A hotel staff member, who chose to remain anonymous, claimed they arrived late at night and avoided the front entrance entirely. Instead, they used the service lift normally reserved for VIPs who require privacy. Fans immediately speculated that they didn't want to be seen together. Rumors intensified when someone else claimed their rooms were on the same private floor, a floor usually reserved for people traveling as a team or as a pair. The internet practically caught fire. By midday, a new layer of the story emerged. Jamie and Dakota were spotted at a quiet cafe near the Berlin Wall Memorial. Just the two of them, no assistants, no bodyguards, no cameras except a lucky fan with a fast phone. They sat across from each other, leaning in close, talking in low voices. Dakota laughed at one moment, covering her mouth the way she always did when she was genuinely amused. Jamie looked at her with an expression that fans described as soft, warm, or dangerously intimate. When the video leaked, the internet exploded all over again. Meanwhile, Hollywood insiders started coming forward with information. One source from a major streaming platform claimed Jamie and Dakota were discussing a secret film project, something high-risk, high-profile, and intended to reunite them on screen after years apart. Another insider insisted the trip wasn't purely professional, that there had been whispers about the two wanting privacy to talk about personal matters that had been lingering unresolved for years. No one could verify any of it, but no one could dismiss it either. Back in the US, both Amelia Warner and Chris Martin suddenly became part of the conversation. Paparazzi spotted Chris arriving at a studio with a strained expression. Journalists shouted questions about Dakota and Germany. He stayed silent. Amelia, meanwhile, was seen leaving a grocery store, avoiding cameras entirely. Her silence fueled speculation that she knew more than the public did. Some tabloids even suggested tension between Amelia and Jamie had been simmering for months, long before the Germany trip. Then came the twist that truly made Hollywood lose its mind. A local art museum in Berlin reported that Jamie and Dakota had booked a private after-hours tour. Security footage, blurred but very clearly showed the pair walking side by side through dimly lit hallways, completely alone with a guide. The footage also captured a moment where Dakota reached out to adjust Jamie's scarf. It lasted barely a second, but the tenderness was undeniable. Fans replayed it thousands of times, claiming it proved everything. As the footage circulated, body language experts jumped into the frenzy. One expert insisted their movements suggested familiarity and deep trust. Another said their distance, always within arm's reach, betrayed a connection no longer purely professional. Yet another claimed the scarf moment was a subconscious gesture reserved for someone you care about deeply. Whether scientific or exaggerated, the analysis only added gasoline to an already out-of-control fire. By evening, Jamie finally broke his silence, but not in the way fans anticipated. At a Berlin press event unrelated to the trip, a reporter boldly asked, "Jamie, why are you and Dakota Johnson in Germany together?" The room fell silent. Cameras zoomed in. Jamie blinked, briefly stunned. Then he gave a slow, careful smile and said, "Some things aren't what they look like. And some things aren't ready to be talked about yet." That single sentence sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Fans debated it endlessly. Was he denying something? Admitting something? Hiding something? Dakota, for her part, remained silent, but she posted a single Instagram story that night. A photo of a German city street at sunset with no caption. Just the image. Mysterious. emotional, loaded with meaning. But the most explosive moment came just before midnight, when one final photo leaked. A picture taken from inside the airport during their arrival. In it, Jamie and Dakota stood very close, almost shoulder to shoulder. Dakota was smiling softly, and Jamie was looking at her the way someone looks at a person they trust implicitly, or someone they aren't afraid to be vulnerable with. The internet erupted one last time. Was their trip to Germany about work? Was it about unresolved feelings? Or was it something far more complicated, something both personal and secret? No one has the full answer. Not yet. But one thing is certain. Hollywood has never been louder, and Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson have never been more watched.